All right. So in the last video, I taught you about curiosity, attention, how to capture it, how to create it. Um, you understand the concepts now. I'm going to show you how to actually do that through something called fascinations, right? Fascinations are the Lego blocks of copywriting, right? So before we dive into like writing emails, landing pages, Facebook ads, or anything like that, you need to learn the smallest building block of copywriting, which is fascinations. Like where do fascinations come in the copywriting? They're literally everywhere. Like this is a sales page, the headline, it's a fascination. This Facebook ad, first little part, fascination. This email, littered with fascination. They're literally the building blocks, the Lego pieces that entire pieces of copy are written with, right? So if you learn how to write killer fascinations, you'll have no problem capturing your reader's attention, which is the first and greatest battle you have to win as a copywriter. You have to capture their attention and you have to maintain curiosity and desire throughout the entire time. Fascinations will make that happen. If you do it right, fascination will get the reader literally addicted to reading you. So, what exactly is a fascination? I've hyped them up pretty good. Let's talk about what they actually are. A fascination is a short line or two that combines desire with intrigue to create a potent effect in the mind of the reader, right? So, again, done right, they're going to read it. They're going to see that intrigue. They're going to see that thing that they care about, combined with some tease, like some specific intrigue, some specific curiosity elements, and it will make them rabid to read the rest of your work and take action at the end. Right? It creates like a splinter in their mind. Right? So here's some examples, some like in-depth examples of different really good fascinations. You can get kind of a feel for what it's like. So here's one. This is one of my favorite headlines of all time. And it's wife of famous movie star swears under oath her new perfume does not contain an illegal sexual stimulant. Obviously, this is connected to a desire. And there's enough elements here of there's some specificity, there's some drama, there's some elements of mystery and intrigue that make this extremely, extremely curious. You want to know more about this perfume, and wait, there's enough drama here that you have to continue reading, right? This is one. This was from like a single line inside of a landing page, just one little line about halfway down the page. So this is one of many of these fascinations that were on this page, but it was just my weird hashtag strategy that helped me grow by 52,000 followers in 1 month, right? Specific detail compared to connected to something that a person would care about a lot. If you're in the social media game, this is something that would catch your attention. It's specific and it's got a level of mystery, the weird hashtag strategy. There's a level of curiosity there. You want to read, you want to discover what this is. And this is another famous headline, old school ad. That's why it's kind of grainy. And it's amazing secret discovered by one-legged golfer, adds 50 yards to your drives, eliminates hooks and slices, and can slash up to 10 strokes from your game almost overnight. If you read this back in the day and you were a golfer, you had to figure it out, right? It's so interesting and intriguing, and it's connected to something you care about so much. You can't ignore this. You have to keep reading, right? And essentially, all fascinations, they really have two main elements. One is that implied opportunity or threat. There's that thing that they want, that thing that they care about. And then there's specific details or elements that make the reader think that there's something real on the other side, the thing that gives them just enough information that it creates an information gap. So they can be curious about it. And again, when done correctly, your avatar should read this, like those headlines we read, those fascination bullets we read. If you're an avatar that's like directed to, you should not be able to ignore that fascination, and you should feel that strong compulsion to keep reading. You have to figure out the answer, right? It's that riddle, that unsolved riddle. Now, I'm going to give you some formulas you can use to create fascinations, right? We talked about what fascinations are, how they work. You understand how curiosity works. I'm going to give you some actual recipes for how to do it, right? Now, these are general recipes, right? Like you'll be able to use them. You can combine these elements together. You can use them independently. Some of them might seem a little salesy, a little cliche. You might not use all of them in every project. You might need to find the balance there. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end, but these are recipes you can pick up and start writing fascinations right away for any project you're using, right? First one, how to. I've created an example one here. So if you're going to write using a how-to, you would just swap out the specific details with the specific details from your project and the desire or threat or whatever with the desire or threat from your avatar in your project, right? So how to become a 10K a month copywriter as quickly as possible. The secret to writing killer fascinations every time you sit down at your computer. There's the why formula, why most billionaires start their day in the exact same way. The what formula, what to do if you If you want to land your first copywriting client in less than 30 days, what never to say on a first date. If you actually like the girl, it's kind of like an inverse of the what. And that one's a really good one for the threat. Then there's plus. Plus is good if you want to stack on an additional. If you stack fascinations, they obviously amplify, right? So if there's one fascination that's cool, but if you add 3 back to back, and they stack on top of each other, it amplifies. And the plus is one that lets you do that. So plus the exact phrase that will make her blush, smile, then fall deeply in love with you. You can stack curiosity, stack fascinations. The number of fascinations is a powerful one because it gives specificity. 7 steps to guarantee you will reach your push-ups goal each day. 7 steps, it's specific. They want to dive into it. The right, wrong one. This is old one, a classic one. If overused, it can come off as a little salesy, but there are some applications when it's really powerful. You can use the same mental experience with slightly different phrasing and achieve the same result. Here's an example. So working smart is what will guarantee your success, right? So you put that commonly held belief or what their main belief is, right? Question mark. Wrong. You're saying, hey, your expectation, you're actually wrong. We're going to break your expectation. Why working smart will never be enough and what you need to do instead. And you can see that that's a kind of a combination of a couple of these formulas. The right, wrong one is a powerful one to swap their expectation. They expect it to be one thing and you're telling them, no, it's another thing. It's kind of related to not statements. Then there's the warning. That's obviously a threat one. Warning, don't email another client until you learn this new upsell question that will dramatically increase your closing price. Warning, something big and important is happening. Again, that can be overused. You got to be really careful with it. This is a good question one. So are you afraid you'll get stuck with a depressing white picket fence life if you don't make real money now? Like this is a way to connect to a pain or a desire that they have. That's a good way to get them to pay attention. The human brain really can't ignore questions. That's actually an interesting little point I want to make here. If you ask a question, they might not like it, they might not answer, but they can't ignore it. Humans can't really ignore questions. It's a weird little thing, something to know about. Gimmick. So for this formula, you can use anything: gimmick, hack, shortcut, etc. You're basically promising a silver bullet. Again, you have to be careful with some markets with this, but this can be a powerful one. The writing hack that will force your reader to pay attention to every single word, right? You're promising them a new way to solve a problem more effectively. That's what gimmick or hack or even secret, right? Those are different ways to do it. Sneaky. This one is where you kind of see you sneaky, weird, right? There was that one example of the headlines. The sneaky headline formula that will break your reader's mind and double or even triple your sales, like sneaky, weird, unorthodox, those type of words tend to imply a certain level of novelty and curiosity. Direct benefit. This is where you just kind of slap them in the face with something they really care about or something they're really afraid of. Become the strongest man in your gym in 30 days or less. Boom. Big, bold promise, big, bold, direct benefit. Powerful way to catch attention, right? Specific question. Did you know that 99% of billionaires use the same strategy to make their first real money? Again, I've made these up. Like these obviously aren't real fascination points. They're not based on anything real. But specific questions usually at the crux of the issue, the crux of the roadblock or the crux of the thing that they desire that can usually grab attention. Again, the human brain cannot ignore questions. So here's another one, the if then one. This is a powerful one. You will use this one quite a bit. The example here is if you are tired of falling flat on your face when talking with that beautiful girl, then you need to learn the 7 questions that will get any girl wildly interested in you. That first part, that if, usually asking a question about something that they desire or something they fear. And in the then section, you then tease the mechanism for getting what they want or avoiding the pain that they're dealing with, right? If then, desire and pain, then specific detail, tease, curiosity, right? When. Now this is kind of a play on the what or the how. The when is related to times or situations. For example, this one, when eating chocolate will actually boost your fat loss. It's like, hey, there's a situation where this other counterintuitive thing will happen. When is a powerful formula. You probably won't use that one quite as often, but it's there. Quickest, easiest. There's a whole bunch of adjectives that mean kind of the same thing. Quickest, easiest, simplest, most straightforward. Those types of adjectives can amplify curiosity because they imply novelty. They imply something that means superiority, right? So humans are curious about that whenever there's a clear winner. Like these adjectives usually say that. So if you just tack them onto stuff, it will amplify the curiosity experience. So the quickest way to boost your confidence and get that millionaire glow, you can say the easiest, the simplest, all that stuff. Those are powerful ones. Truth is a good one. The truth about trading crypto that will ensure you're on the right side of history. It implies that there is an information gap, but if you know that if you solve, you will get the result that you want, or you will avoid the pain that you're avoiding. Truth, again, secret's kind of a variation of this one. But truth is a powerful formula. Better than is good. So this example, better than caffeine, discover the best legal supplement for greater focus and discipline. This is where you're breaking their expectations again, right? Where they're saying, you take what they think is the best option and you say, hey, there's a new thing that's better than that option. It's not necessarily product based, but it's more like solution type based. So better than is a cool way to flip their expectations and present them something new. And then single, right? And it's kind of related to the number one, but single is focused. It's like, this is the most important thing. When you say single or the single blank, it adds importance to that thing. It magnifies the size and the importance of the thing you're teasing. So the single step you must take before all of your sales calls to maintain frame and close like the Wolf of Wall Street. The single step, like it magnifies the importance of it. And when you magnify the size of that, the bigger and better it'll catch their attention. And the smaller the information gap seems, the smaller the information gap is in their mind, the smaller the information gap seems in their mind, the easier they think it'll be, or the more their desire is to actually close that gap, right? So those are some good formulas, right? Those are guidelines. You can use some of them, you have to use all of them. Some of them won't fit for your audience. Some of them might feel too cliche. Some of them won't feel strong enough. You'll pick and play with all of them when you sit down to do projects. You'll have to gauge which ones are most appropriate for your audience as you go through it. But anyways, so let's go back over now. In that last call, we talked about the elements, or the last video, we talked about the elements that will enhance curiosity. You want to use these with your fascinations. You can see how they tie into the fascinations to magnify the actual effect of them, right? The first one is specificity, right? It needs to feel real. Whenever you're dropping the fascination, it can't be vague. It has to feel like there actually is something real. And if you give them a glimpse, if you give them part of the answer without giving them the full answer, then they know that the rest of the answer has to exist. So specificity is powerful, not out statements where you flip their expectations, where you say it's not this thing, it's another thing. That's a really powerful way to magnify curiosity. Again, borrowed status or mystery. You saw me do that a couple of times. I talk about billionaires, this or that, right? Wolf of Wall Street, right? Borrowed status, borrowed mystery. Those always magnify it. Unexplainable results if something seems counterintuitive or it doesn't mesh with the reality. The more that you can include, the more curious they'll be. And then here's another one. I added this in here for this video, but that's conflict and drama. If humans are drawn to it, if there are two forces that are fighting against each other, there's usually a reason why. There's usually something at stake. We are drawn to drama and conflict. Women especially, but everybody, right? The more conflict or drama you can mix into the elements when you're building fascinations, when you're building curiosity, the more attracted people will be to learning and figuring out what's going on, right? Think about it, like when you're in school and a fight breaks out, everyone runs trying to figure out what's going on. It's human nature to understand and get to the root of conflict, right? Now, fascinations are important, and this is typically like the second big step you'll do on any big project. So the first step is obviously research. You sit down, you understand the avatar, understand their situation, all that good stuff. You map that all out, and then usually what you'll do is you sit down and you will write at least 100 fascinations for you to use during the rest of your project, whether you're writing emails, ads, web pages, funnels, all that stuff. Doesn't matter. You're going to want as many fascinations to draw on as ammunition as possible, right? You're going to want to get really good at these. This is going to be something you're going to do quite a bit of. As you go through your world, as you're on social media or online or reading billboards, take note of interesting fascinations you see, because you'll start to see some that stand out to you. Whenever you see one that works, try and figure it out. Copy it, save it down, and try and figure it out. And you can save it and use it for inspiration while you're sitting down and when you have to come up with fascination in the future. The best copywriters in the world are all masters of this, right? All the top ones, all the great ones they got where they were and they succeeded because they got good at writing fascinations, because it allows them to control curiosity and control attention. Now it's your turn to learn this skill. It's pretty easy. You've got the formulas. You understand how attention and curiosity works. You understand how people work. Once you have this ability though, you'll be able to control people, right? You'll be able to control attention, which is a superpower, and you have to use it for good. You can't use it for evil. But you can use it to help you and your clients make tons of money because it is the game. And if you're good at fascinations, you'll be good at that.